So I just played Quantum Break, and it was not good. Look, I'll try to explain it just about as well as the game does. Quantum Break is an egg, and it's cracking and unraveling, and we had to stop it from cracking and unraveling. And does this sound like a completely nonsensical explanation to a situation? Well, congratulations. You're in my boat. Normally, I expect a Remedy game to take a while to really come together. Their projects tend to definitely be on the slow burn side, but they at least make sense. Whereas in the case of Quantum Break, the live action bits, they don't really serve a purpose. A lot of what is conveyed is actually kind of unnecessary in several cases. There are characters that you won't ever wonder about or so much as think about. And the gameplay opportunities that are offered here should be more interesting. They should be vastly more engaging than what we are given. What we are given is this facsimile of a game. The mechanics seem like an almost insurmountable afterthought, because there's tons of potential. We've seen numerous games try and do this, most notably Time Shift, which outright let you freeze time and rewind. Here, despite having all the technology and the budget and promise to genuinely do that, instead we have car chases that amount to nothing in live action. And if you notice that I'm harping on the live action bits, it's because I genuinely think that that's where this game really hurt itself, by trying to blend two mediums in a way that doesn't genuinely benefit the game. If it doesn't improve things, it doesn't help, then why should we care? I mean, there are choices that you can make that alter the flow of the story, but they're made in gameplay. So once again, why couldn't we have just focused on the game side of things? And yet the way Quantum Break structures itself, the way your powers are just kind of doled out to you, the way they don't do much more than pretty standard stuff of freeze an enemy in time, move really fast, shield yourself. Very uncreative ideas. These are things that didn't need you to break time to have. There's all sorts of magic and other contexts that could have worked just as well. And that's really the big problem here. It is so focused on the one thing that doesn't benefit it and trying to set that up and push you towards that, whereas what's really potentially interesting about the game is completely absent. There's this very early moment where you're able to loot from frozen enemies during a time snap sequence, where basically everything's just frozen in place but also kind of falling apart, and you can take the guns from enemies' hands. I love that. Imagine if taking the guns from their hands meant that more people survived this cover-up that Monarch's trying to do. That would be so amazing. But that's not what that's there for. You just pick up ammo. It doesn't change anything. That doesn't alter anything. No one responds to the action. So this whole idea of interactivity between the gameplay and storytelling just isn't there, which is surreal because normally Remedy's stuff is very good about trying to introduce some heady, crazy narratives while still pushing you as a player to do unique things and making them mesh together well. This is the same team that made Alan Wake. They love to remind you of that like every 10 seconds with some sort of Easter egg. So if that's the case, what happened here? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to rationalize what happened here. I mean, you could have fun with this. You could create all sorts of puzzles. You could do unique, very interesting gameplay concepts. Time is such an amazing thing to mess with. We've seen games do it well. Even lackluster games that did it well. There was that Heroes tie-in game that, for all of its many flaws, genuinely used time in interesting ways. Dishonored 2, Titanfall. We've seen games use time for a fraction of their runtime or for just one specific power and do far more than this game could. In this one, you're basically a glorified X-Man, and because of that, it's just not that worth looking at, which is a damn shame. It was going to be one of the Xbox One's biggest exclusives when it was first announced, and I still think back to that time. I think back to how Quantum Break looked at that point, and it could have been so much more than just a really pretty visual tech demo. Instead, this is nothing better than any Naughty Dog game you've seen in the past few years. Like, seriously, it's not even funny just how much this feels more like their sort of production than a Remedy production. Plus, its install size is huge, and that's completely because of the TV sections. That's all that's about. It's really just, it's disappointing. It it shouldn't be this disappointing, but it is. If you like something that's just very pretty to play through for a few hours, you might get something out of it. But if you were hoping for anything deeper, if you were a fan of Remedy's work and you were hoping for something with meat to it, I think even just finally cracking open Alan Wake's American Nightmare might be more substantive to you. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of them, please be sure to like and subscribe because that actually helps a lot. And if you didn't like it, then please feel free to give a thumbs down, but also let's try and keep things simple in the comments section, yeah? Oh, and if you really like this video and would like to help ensure I can do more of these things, then please head down to the description and follow a link to my Patreon where you get special goodies if you chip in and help make this channel a reality. I'm the Unabridged Gamer, signing off.